So here we are out in the workshop, and this morning I am working on trying to germinate some bells of Ireland. This is a flower I have been trying to grow. This is now the third season, and the previous two I had some, but not much, and it's been, oh my gosh, they're germinating. Oh my goodness, surprise. So let me back up a little bit. In the previous couple of years, these guys are a seed that actually prefer to be direct sown. And I have been finding it hard to commit to giving it bed space at the time of year when I need to actually put it in the ground to get it to germinate with enough time to survive the winter, because it would be one that it's actually hardy all the way up through zone 5, which is pretty cold. So our best bet is to grow it through the winter. Anyway, it can be planted in the early spring, but that means I have to germinate it in conditions it doesn't necessarily want to respond to. So I've been reading up about the best way to do that, and I followed some new methods, and I didn't think anything was happening until I just opened it up now. So first we start by freezing the seed for a few weeks. That's called stratifying. Sometimes you'll see that on the back of seed packets, like Columbine, which is available retail, is something that needs to be stratified and usually says on the package, and that's what that means. It needs to be frozen for a period of time, usually at least a week up to a month, prior to your trying to germinate it. Anyway, so that's what I did. It had 2 solid weeks of freezer time, and then I soak the seed. So it comes out of the freezer, goes directly into a shallow pan that's got a little bit of water, enough water for these guys to be completely submerged. And it spent 3 days in that water. You can go up to 5 days, but I'm not that patient. So I pulled it at 3 days and then put it in this is the new thing I'm trying this year. I put it in a wet paper towel. And you can kind of see what I did here. It was actually just on one side. I sprinkled it all over. The soaked seed went into this, covered it up. Then I put it in this plastic bag and I stuck that in the refrigerator. And it has spent, it's been a solid week in the refrigerator, and I really wasn't seeing anything. So I started to be unconvinced that the method would work, because I thought, is it really going to germinate at 40 degrees? So I pulled it out of the refrigerator, and from there I set it on a really sunny windowsill in my kitchen sink, and it spent 4 days sitting in the sunlight and warming up a bit. And now that I've opened it up, I have a lot of them are actually beginning to germinate. So I'm going to transfer them now from the paper towel, and I'm put them on soil blocks. They prefer to be on the surface, which is what I'm going to do, just kind of get them seeded down on there real well. Not sure what to do about these roots. I am. So I'm going to have to figure that out and circle back and tell you how that worked out. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and get these on their soil blocks, and we'll see what happens from here. So I'm going to focus on the ones that are not started yet and just get these on here. Now, I don't want to go deep with these guys, because they do, from most things I've read, they do prefer to have light in order to germinate. And that may be what the difference was with pulling them from the refrigerator and putting them at the windowsill, because no windowsill is very warm. Windows are cold by nature. So my guess is that it might be the fact that they were getting some sunlight on them that helped to break them from dormancy. So we will see what happens. But these all just get pressed onto the surface. These are going into just made soil blocks. They're nice and moist, so I won't have to water this again until tomorrow morning. So we shall see what happens. It's all a learning game, so don't be afraid to try.